Hi everyone, Nathaniel here. I'm going to do a video about Ansel Briggs, the very first governor of Iowa. I figured I'm wearing a Kim Reynolds shirt, the 43rd governor of Iowa and the very first female governor of Iowa. There's no better time than now than to do a video on Ansel Briggs. Ansel Briggs was born on February 3rd, 1806 in Shoreham, Vermont. He and his family later moved to Guernsey County, Ohio, where they farmed for several years before his father untimely death due to a farming accident. Ansel continued farming with his mother and picked up being a stagecoach driver. In 1839, due to the rumors of these bountiful and fields of opportunity in the newly created territory of Iowa, which had just separated from the territory of Wisconsin, Ansel Briggs moved to what is now Jackson County, Iowa in 1839. While in Jackson County, he served as the deputy county treasurer. He also served as the county jailer and sheriff in Jackson County. Now, he also kept his stagecoach business, which worked primarily with the U.S. Postal Service, running routes from Dubuque, Iowa City, to Davenport, and down into Burlington in Des Moines County. And so his routes got him around the state, which was at this time where most of all the people lived. And he became well known and decided to throw his hat in the ring as the Democratic candidate for governor. And he had a pretty strong opponent, actually two of them in this primary, but one was the Secretary of State for the territory, and the other one was a prominent member and secretary of this county of Jefferson County, which is where Fairfield is, and he beat them both out, getting 62 votes first round, having the other two candidates bow out, and he becoming the Democratic candidate for governor. And he was able to defeat the prominent lawyer McKnight from Dubuque County on the election held on October 28, 1846, by a margin of less than 300 votes. Ansel Briggs swore that he would run as governor with having no outside business or contracts at all, and he upheld that promise and sold all of his contracts and all of his business while he was governor. He was a one-term governor from 1846 to 1850. During his term of governor, he created the Iowa public school system. He helped negotiate the end of the territorial border between Iowa and Missouri, better known as the Honey War, and also started working on the development of infrastructure, transportation, railroads, bridges. He wasn't really for sure if governor was really what he wanted to do. He did it mainly because he felt obligated to, and rumor has it that he actually thought he was going to lose the election, and once he was elected, he did it as basically like a civic duty. On his inauguration on December 28th of 1846, he stood on the steps of the Capitol building in Iowa City and said this: "From my want of experience in the affairs of civil administration, I must naturally feel a great degree of embarrassment in my present position, but that feeling will be greatly lessened from the hope and belief which I entertain that in your character of representatives of an enlightened constituency, you will kindly extend to me your aid and indulgence." He believed that the people themselves were going to be able to provide him with a great legislative body, and that overseeing such a prestigious body of such enlightened men, that governing should be very easy. And interesting things about why he was governor is that the state legislature tried to constantly move the capital back down to Burlington, because that's where primarily all the prestigious people lived. And so that was the one thorn in the side of his administration, is that they kept trying to move the capital down to Burlington. After his term was over, he decided that he was successful enough and declined to run for a second term. He and his only surviving son out of 5 children went out to Colorado and Montana and Nebraska. He actually helped found the city of Florence in Nebraska, and after a long run of business with prospecting and stagecoach running, he returned back to Iowa, and then in the late 1870s, and on a visit to his son, in 1881. He died on May 5th, 1881, in his son's home in Omaha, Nebraska, where he was initially interned. My apologies, and and that's where his body laid until 1909, when the state of Iowa moved his body back to Andrew, Iowa, and erected this monument behind me. And has a nice little monument showing he was the governor of Iowa, and then right down here is his original tombstone that they brought with him. And I thought it was really cool. Ansel Briggs spent most of his time actually in Andrew, Iowa, not in Iowa City. He didn't think the governorship to be so prestigious and so pompous that he was above the rest of the people, and spent most of his time in his little grocery store up in Andrew, and where he sold mostly whiskey. So they were hardy people up here in Andrew, Iowa, in Jackson County. So that's basically Ansel Briggs. When he died, the city of Des Moines, which was the capital at that point, and the governor, which I believe is Governor Gears, ordered the flags at half-staff and ordered a gun salute every hour in the morning of the passing of Iowa's first governor. He was successful as a governor with his negotiations with Missouri and with creating public schools and transportation, two of the things that make Iowa really well known nationally today, is its education system and its really well built roads and bridges. So, with that, that's Ansel Briggs, the very first governor of Iowa. I'm Nathaniel Gavronsky. Thank you for your time. Stay wealthy, stay healthy, and stay wise. And as always, stay classy, Iowa.